All right, buddies. Happy Monday. The episode of myView on Books. This is episode number 21, and we are going to look at The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. Hope I pronounced it rightly. So I just completed reading this book last week. If you had seen one of my book haul videos before, or reading updates. So I said that I've been reading this book, and soon I'll finish it and review it. So as promised, I'm gonna review this book. Basically, I'm not review, just talk about what I felt reading this book. And it's a very good book. Before we jump into the episode, I'm gonna remind you guys about something. I think if you've been following Instagram, you know. But for the YouTube viewers, yeah. So we're gonna release another movie. So this month is experimental month. I'm trying to release one movie every Wednesday. So far it's good. So this week it'll be fulfilled, and next week also I have a idea. So I'll shoot it this week and try to edit it and release it next Wednesday. So like almost all the weeks is done. Only one more movie I have to make. So this movie, Am I a Robot? Thriller comedy will be releasing this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Please stay tuned, and it's a very good movie. The idea that I had formed has come out really, better than I had imagined. I wanted to make a thriller movie, but it has come out a bit of comical, and my old friend Vikash had come for a visit, and I made him act. So he's done a good job in the acting. So it's gonna be a 3 minute movie, and you're gonna enjoy it. This is a very good idea. So very good concept, and very well executed as well. So do stay tuned and look forward to this movie. It's releasing on this Wednesday, 5:05 p.m. only at MWM YouTube TV. So with that, we'll go back to the review. I mean, the book episode. Let me just check my sound. And you're gonna enjoy. Sound is good. We don't need the desktop sound, so that's fine. Yeah, we'll start with looking at the Amazon. So in Amazon, it's available in Kindle, hardcover, and paperback. I have the paperback version, so you can see almost similar cover. And there are two quotes. I'll read you. Only she knows what happened, and only I can make her speak. So you will get to know the meaning of these two statements once you finish the novel, or maybe like 50 or 60 pages into the book. It's a very good thriller, basically, and on top of the thriller, you have a psychological layer added to it, and that's what makes this book fresh to read, unique to read, and indulging. So yeah, this is available in Kindle. So but those who do not like to or prefer taking a paperback, can go for a Kindle edition. And this is Silent Patient in GoodReads. It's rated 4.15. You can see majority, how many people have rated. Almost 1 lakh, I guess, more than a lakh. So it's a very good book, and it's a very popular book. It was released in 2019, and it immediately became a New York Times best time seller. So do check it out. Okay. Yeah, so let us jump into the story. Hope you can see. So what is The Silent Patient about? So the title is Silent Patient. So it's going to be something related to doctor, hospital, patient, right? So it's similar. The story is somewhat you can think of. So there is a character, the lead, I would say, or would say one of the leading characters, Alicia Berenson, I guess. So she is a painter, but she has some medical condition. Mentally, she was not stable during her childhood. She lost her mother in an accident, and after her mother died, his father was not having a good relationship with Alicia. So looking up to her father was not good. So she had some issues with fatherhood, and that's how she's grown up. And now she's married to Gabriel, so they are in love with each other. So Alicia is like very, very affectionate towards her husband Gabriel, and they're very supportive. And Gabriel is I think a photographer, and she's a painter. So both of them basically artists, and she basically paints and gives it to a friend who has an exhibition, so he showcases is there. So they are close friends. So this is the story of Alicia in her life. So right away, the story in the book starts with the plot that Alicia had been convicted of murdering her husband Gabriel. So they The neighbor calls up the police, and the police comes into Alicia's house, and they find Gabriel being tied to a chair, and he's been shot in his face 5 times, and Alicia is seen holding a gun. So this is how the story begins, and she's been convicted of murder, but in the trial they found out that she's not mentally stable, so she needs to be having some therapy session. So she's admitted to psycho, what do you call, I think I forgot the name. It's basically a hospital for patients who have been treating for mental disorders. So it's called the Grove Hospital. So she's been there. But the interesting fact is that she stops talking from the instant the police, come into the house and discover that she has murdered her husband. So she doesn't pick anything, right? So she doesn't utter a word in the trial. She doesn't, like, no matter her cousin or anyone approaches her, she doesn't speak. So in between the trial, she was allowed to go home, and when she was in home, she paints a portrait called Alcestis. I mean, it's difficult to pronounce. Alcestis, I guess. So that's a very famous Greek mythological story where, it has its own plot where the wife volunteers to die for her husband, but then the husband has never loved the wife so much, and then she becomes silent after she comes back from the death. So it's a Greek mythological story, and she paints this portrait of Alcestis, and it's the only thing she's conveying through communication, right? So she's not speaking after that incident, but she has painted this. So this is the only statement that is she has made, a painting. So the painting is famous now because she's convicted of murder, and she painted this after that incident. So it's become a sensation for 2 3 years, and then it dies down. So Alicia gets admitted to the hospital, and she's being treated for her mental disorders. So she's on always a high dose, and she doesn't, basically she's very aggressive. She fights with the other patients, so they keep her on a high dose. So this is how the plot starts. So this is Alicia's story and how she is convicted of murdering her husband. And then there's the other protagonist who's a psychotherapist. So this is the doctor side. So Theo Faber is the character name. So Theo is a psychotherapist. He gets to know about Alicia, and he gets to know that she's in the Grove Hospital, and he wants to go to the Grove Hospital and work there and try to treat Alicia. So he's very curious to interact with Alicia and try to make her speak. So that's what drives him to go to that hospital, and he gets a job there. He's getting interviewed, and he gets a job there. And then he has his own story, right? So he has a wife, and his wife is having a extramarital affair with another guy, unknown guy. And then he tries to first he gets very agitated, but then he lives up with it. Like, even though he knows that his wife is cheating on him, he decides to live with his wife. He doesn't want to inquire anything about that affair with his wife. But then he stalks her, like stalks in the sense he follows her, and he sees that they are going to a forest, they have sex, and he is following that guy, the stranger with whom she's having affair. And then she's observing he is observing that stranger's house. So this is the plot for Theo, the other protagonist. So this is how both the plots develop as you read the novel. And this is the whole story. So how Alicia and the psychiatrist Theo get to interact, whether Theo made Alicia to speak, what is the relationship between Theo and Alicia? Is it just coincidental doctor patient relationship, or they have something background story? And Alicia, so the narration is like it's conveyed through two perspective. Alicia's journal. So Alicia maintains a journal. So if you see, we can go to page number 1. Here we have in the preview, hi Madan Sanjay, how are you? I'm good. I'll come back to you, okay? So we have 5 parts, and you have a lot of chapters, so it's a very pretty long book. So this is one perspective where we read Alicia Berenson's perspective through a journal. So this is like a journal. You're reading a journal. What do you say? A story within a story. And this is one narration, one perspective, and this is Theo's point of view is like he's speaking. So whatever you read here is Theo's point of view. So this is the two perspective that gets switched in between the story narration, and you feel kind of you know, kind of easy. It's not difficult to keep up or understand, but still, it's a good novel, like with two perspectives. And one is journal, right? So journal is not like you're actually reading other person's diary. So you get that feeling, okay, we get to know what's inside Alicia's mind, and this is something. Theo's point of view. It's not a journal, so he's describing the progress. So that could be anything, right? He might be lying, he might be tweaking facts. So it's all possible. But you can understand that in Anisia's journal, it's going to be truth. So she's honestly capturing your feelings in the diary, and that's what we are reading in the book. So these two perspectives I felt really fresh. Okay, so the journal perspective from Alicia's mind, and Theo's perspective, how he wants to interact with Alicia. So you get this feeling like why he wants to interact with her. So there is a twist at the end. I don't want to reveal. I've not told you any major spoilers. I've given you interesting elements why you should read this book. It's a psycho thriller. It's not just a thriller book. It's a psycho thriller, and it's very rare nowadays to get a fresh story with such kind of interesting plots and a psycho element to it. So it's very good for a movie. I'm sure in the next 5 years this is going to be made as a Hollywood movie, that's for sure. Some big company like Warner Bros or Paramount Pictures gonna purchase the rights, and they're gonna make a movie out of it. So it's that good of a plot, very unique plot, and you have all the elements, surprising elements, twisting elements. So in the climax there are two twists. You gotta read it to know about it. So this is all about the silent patient. No, this story is not real. So Madan Sanjay has asked a question, bro, is this story real? I don't think this is real. It's a fiction novel, and certainly you would have had some inspirations. Maybe the psychiatrist is something he would have derived from his friends or the movies he had seen or any incidents from his life. So there might be 10 to 20% of reality in the story, but I don't think it has happened in real life. So this is a completely fictional story. Good to read. Yep, you can actually, it's very cheap in Kindle. If you have a Kindle device, do purchase it and read. It's very good. So it's worth 150 bucks if you are purchasing Kindle. I have the paperback, as I told you. So do enjoy reading it, and yeah, that's the most thing about Silent Patient. I think it's about how many pages? 352. So you can finish it off in 10-20 days if you read regularly, or 1 month or 2 months if you're reading it like 5 pages or 10 pages per day. Definitely don't miss it out. So yep, I have not read, wrote a blog about this, so I would really like to write about this book. So I think for 4-5 months I've stopped writing, and you know that I have a website, right? So it's been long since I wrote. It's because we have a schedule, packed schedules in YouTube. We are doing live streams daily, so I've literally stopped writing. So I would like to continue the, book reviews and movie reviews that I write. So definitely I'll start with Silent Patient. I'll write a blog about it, and yep, yeah, you have to read this. It's a must read for all book lovers, especially thriller genre. Do purchase it and read it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Episode number 21. We are into 21, man. We've done more than 20 episodes. That's unbelievable. Thank you so much. Without you, I wouldn't have done that. And quick reminder about the movie that's coming up, Am I a Robot? It's gonna release this Wednesday at 5:05 p.m. Stay tuned. It's a very good movie, 3 minutes, and it's a good plot actually. It's something that came up all of a sudden, and I executed it immediately. And this person, Vikash Kumar, has acted very well in it. So do watch it on the Wednesday evening, 5:05 p.m. Release it. Yep. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Madan Sanjay, for joining. You asked a good question, whether the story is real or not. So it's a novel, fiction novel, and you can read. So there's nothing, you don't have to be afraid whether it happened real or not. So enjoy the read. If you're getting to purchase this book and read it, enjoy it. Okay, thank you guys. Meet you in tomorrow's episode, Watch Dogs 2 Gaming. Let's catch it up there, and I'll probably schedule this for premiere after tomorrow's live stream, and look forward to it. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.